Hey, honey,
Yes, Barry?
let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler. I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination. Maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants here. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant, the famous Los Muertos Beach, and the El Dorado Restaurant and Beach Club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. Now, today I'm going to introduce you to my friend Johnnie D. Johnny's from Canada, and he's going to tell us about how he retired to Puerto Vallarta and how he makes ends meet living in paradise on a fixed income. But before we get to Johnny, let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 9th of May, 2020. Now, first of all, I hope everybody's doing well. Hope your checker at the market is doing well. I asked Dwayne, my checker over at the corner market, if he wanted to come on the show, but he says he's kind of shy. I'll keep trying. Anyway, in Puerto Vallarta, the lockdown due to the coronavirus pandemic continues, with folks told to shelter in place, with adults over the age of 60 required to stay at home. Everybody's asked to wear face masks when they're outdoors. Shopping's allowed for necessary items like medicine and food and alcohol, unless you are in Nayarit. And if you're in Nayarit, no alcohol for you. That's right. No booze for you. But in Jalisco, on the other side of the border, over here in Puerto Vallarta, you can't buy pants. So there must be a joke somewhere in there. I'm not going to go for it, though. Anyway, you ever get the idea that they're messing with you here? At any rate, folks are actually holding out hope that they can make it through the month, and maybe by June 1st, things will start to relax, and everybody will start feeling a little bit better on the ground here in Puerto Vallarta. Already, we're hearing of businesses being shuttered, closing down, not able to withstand the lack of income, having to support and pay employees as well as utility bills and rent. Anyway, there will be, I'm sure many, no doubt, we're going to find a lot of changes when we do make it back to vacation in paradise. So anyway, as far as the podcast is concerned, I have enough recorded interviews to last me to the end of the first week in July, and then I'm out. So I was supposed to be going back this month. Actually, I was supposed to be going back on Monday, the Monday after Mother's Day, and do what I normally do, which is collect interviews, and I was hopefully going to have enough to last me through October, but that is not happening right now. So we'll see if I can get back in July. I am aiming for that. Here's an interesting article from Puerto Vallarta Daily News, which reads, Puerto Vallarta seeks to be certified as a COVID-0 destination. Hoteliers in Puerto Vallarta seek to be certified as COVID-0 destination to be prepared by the end of the year to receive international tourism by complying with the most demanding hygiene protocols. In addition, they're preparing a strong promotion strategy to help hotels recover from the cancellation of most reservations due to the COVID-19 pandemic, announced the president of the Association Alvaro Garcia Arce, for a soft opening that is to be able to open the Destiny little by little. We know this is going to be painful. We know that the recovery will come later or gradually, and it may have effects until December. Together with Puerto Vallarta Tourism Trust, this promotional campaign is going to give tourist assertiveness to our destination so that they feel safe. The president of the Puerto Vallarta Hotel Association pointed out that only 5 of the total hotels in the destination are open, with many restrictions to accommodate those who work in essential activities. One of the main concerns is that being a global pandemic, they still don't know how international tourists will return, to what extent, and when flights and cruises will return. Garcia Arce said that there is concern about the construction of new hotels that are no longer continuing due to the pandemic, because the goal of the entire sector is to boost productivity and the economic flow in this destination. And I have a link to that article in the show notes. You can check that out. Now, I reached out to our friend Elvira Moncayo. She is, we interviewed her a long time ago. She's over at the Vallarta Board of Tourism, and I wanted to find out what's going on and when the reopening of Puerto Vallarta was going to be happening. She said that they're updating information every time that the state government is announcing a new protocol or a new regulation, and as of today, most of the hotels remain closed. They're planning to restart operation tentatively on the 1st of June. Airlines, frequencies in operation, and current and future travel restrictions are not known at this time. And I have a link to a list of properties scheduled to open on the 1st of June and on July the 1st. And I want to thank Elvira for sending me all that information. And we're going to need to talk to her pretty soon. Maybe when I get back, we will talk to her about what's going on in Puerto Vallarta and how they're going to open up once again. All right, now Vallarta Food Bank, still in the news here. They need our help. They need our money. In fact, they need our help and our money more than ever before, either physical help or help, to help bag things, or monetary help. Here's a note from Francine Nguyen from Bonita Kitchen, and of course, Vallarta Food Bank. She writes 2,000 bags going out each week. That's 8,000 bags a month, 120 pesos a bag. That's roughly 42,000 US dollars a month that we're spending at the food bank. We need your donation to continue feeding the families that are in need. Just $10 US will feed a small family for a week. This is why I have trouble sleeping at night. So, as Jimmy said a couple weeks ago, they are expecting to be feeding these families for at least until the end of June or July. So they really need your help. They need our help. They are moving massive amounts of food right now, tons and tons of food. It is amazing what they're doing. So also, by the way, be careful when you're making donations. Make sure that the donations are going to the right place. There are others that are raising funds for Puerto Vallarta food banks. There are other food banks in the Puerto Vallarta area. This one is called Vallarta Food Bank, and I have a link to it in the show notes, so make sure that you go there. I have a link to their Patreon donation page. You can make monthly donations and keep this going and keep feeding these people in Puerto Vallarta. They really, really need our help. What else did I want to say about that? We'll be talking to Jimmy next week. Now, 2 weeks ago, I read a note from Melissa Canez over at Corazon de Niña. Corazon de Niña is one of our favorite orphanages in Puerto Vallarta. And at that time, I read their needs to you. And I also mentioned that I was making a video for fundraising purposes for them, especially at the suggestion, of course, of listener Pat. And it is done. and it has pictures of the kids and of the orphanage, and there's a little video of me in front talking a little bit, and then there's the conversation that I had with Melissa behind the pictures of this kind of slideshow that I run in here. It's designed for whoever wants to spread the news about this wonderful place, about Corazon de Niña. And it's designed to help them to raise funds and to help them get through this rough patch. So if you're interested in the video, it's an unlisted video, but if you would like to share it with people, with charity groups, with friends and family, people who have some big hearts who want to help, send me an email. Send it to pvtravelshow@gmail.com and ask for the link. Once again, it's PV, as in Puerto Vallarta, travelshow@gmail.com. And I'll forward you the link to that fundraising video for Corazon de Niña. All right, well, let's get to the interview, shall we? Let's have a little fun. Many lovers of Puerto Vallarta dream of one day retiring and moving to paradise. I'm one of them. I know that a lot of you who listen to the show are people just like that, too. And we've met quite a few of them over the years, and we've spoken with them over the years, haven't we? Now, some of them sell everything that they own, and they move to Puerto Vallarta. They either rent or they buy a place. Some have money in the bank. Some earn pensions or Social Security. Some come to Mexico to retire just because it's economical. Some come because they just love it. Well, our guest is a Canadian. His name is Johnnie D. And I met Johnny about 2 years ago at a bar. And I don't remember which bar, but they all kind of blend together, don't they? But I do remember someone that I know introduced me to him as the spicy pickle guy. And they also mentioned that he would be a fun guy to interview. And he was. And you're going to like him. And you're going to learn a lot from his experiences. Now, keep in mind that Johnny, he pays about $200 US a month for the place he rents. And he tells me that he can live pretty well, actually fairly easily, for about $900 US a month in Puerto Vallarta. So now I met Johnny over at one of my favorite beach bars over at El Solar. It is in the Cinco de Diciembre neighborhood. It's right next door to the El Barracuda. And so I found him sitting on the beach, and that's where we're going to be doing this interview. I set up my recorder, grabbed a cold beverage, and I had a fun conversation with a Canadian retiree in paradise. So let's meet him right now. Johnnie D. on the beach in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Johnnie D., thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, and what was your path to Puerto Vallarta?
Well, I'm from Canada. I born in Eastern Canada, raised in Calgary, moved around the Prairie provinces a little bit, settled in Qualicum Beach on Vancouver Island. I was there for 17, 18 years, was 17 years, gone through 17, and moved back for a year, and then I decided I found it too expensive to live in my own country. I'd been to Mexico many times, both when I was married and after I got divorced. And I love it here. Puerto Vallarta is fantastic. And I said, well, why not move there? I can afford to live here, whereas I can't in my own country, and that's a sad thing.
Yeah, that is a sad thing. So when did you come here to live?
I came here, it's 2 years this past June 2nd, so I've been here 28 months.
28 months.
Yes, I go home every 6 months. Grandkids, kids, yes.
Okay, so are you at all interested in going and getting your permanente or temporal residency?
I would love to have that, to get that, of course. But there's a financial minimum, which I'm just short of that. So, you know what? I have to go home anyways and see my kids. I think the only advantage to having one is that I wouldn't have to go home.
Right. You wouldn't have that 6 month thing hanging over your head.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about losing anything by not going back in Canada.
Yeah. So when you arrived here 28 months ago, what did you do? How'd you find a place to live?
Yes.
How did you, settle in?
10 years previous to that, whenever I came down, probably 14 times, my whole experience of Puerto Vallarta was whatever resort I was at, and most of it was at Canto de Sol, to Andalays and back. My biggest expense was taxis. I got to know the owner of Andalays, Jorge, quite well. He's a Calgary Stampede fan, so I'd bring him down Stampede posters or whatever. And he told me he had a place for rent. So I looked at it. Well, not quite. I brought him something. He said, Johnny, I can't afford to buy that. As if he can't. And I said, no, we're going to work a deal. You can give me, I want 2 weeks in one of your hotels if I come down. He says, no problem. So I got a hold of him when I came down. Before I came down, I got a place. In that building, he said, Johnny, there's a one-bedroom suite downstairs. That's available. So we struck a deal. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. He realized what I was paying and what he could get for it in U.S. dollars. So, anyways, yeah. Came down there, I had a place to stay.
Okay. All right. Very good. And then right now, where are you staying? Are you find a good place to rent?
Yes, I found a great place. It's owned by a lady from England, and it's in Benito Juarez, Romanza.
Oh, really?
Yes, on this side of right behind the Red Cabbage.
Excellent. Yeah, sure. I know you're in JR's neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Matter of fact, from where JR lives, from the bridge, it's a 5-minute walk to his place. I don't cross the river, and it's a 5-minute walk to my place.
There you go. All right. So, all right. Now let's talk about how do you like that neighborhood?
I'm hesitating here. I don't want to get anybody in any trouble. I was warned by the landlady and several people from the bridge when you're walking. I get south. There's about a 3-block walk, and there's no houses there. It's 1 or 2 street lights. And I've been warned about that area.
Yeah.
I have walked it at night, and I feel safe. But, right from Escondido, or that corner where Que Pasa is, I've taken the bus for 2 blocks if it's late at night, and I'm not in that kind of shape.
Yeah.
But I don't really go out that much at night anymore.
Right. Well, that's
it. But the people are great there.
Yeah.
I have a little groceria across from me. The neighbors are all fine. There's about an overpopulation of dogs and cats. Oh, I can tell you stories about that.
How about the roosters?
Actually, I don't hear them anymore.
You don't? Oh, you've canceled them out, have you?
No. Not me.
No, I don't mean you. You wrung their necks. I mean that you just don't notice them, or did someone else wring their necks?
I just don't notice them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And there's none close. The only one across that I would hear anyways was probably 200-300 meters away or yards.
Right.
And I just don't hear them anymore.
Yeah, dogs are worse.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, what do you like most about living in that neighborhood? I guess you basically just told me that the people are nice, and
it's a great place. It too is getting expensive to live in. I'm away. Oh yes, we'd all want a place overlook the ocean. There's no doubt about that. And it would be nice. I lived by the ocean when in Vancouver Island. But you know what? I'm away from the hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
Now we're sitting at El Solar. I've got a bad leg. I can get on my bus and be down here, timed and everything, sitting where I am now in 15, 16 minutes. To go to Los Muertos Beach, even taking a bus as far as I can go, it's still going to take me 20 minutes. And you know what? This place here, El Solar in Barracuda, excellent beach, gets a little rocky, rocks come and go. There's not better service on the beach than El Solar.
Oh, I can tell. I can definitely say yes. That's exactly correct, man. These people are so attentive, aren't they?
Yes, they are, as you noticed.
She wouldn't let me, pick up a chair. She wouldn't let me, move a table. She's doing it all. All right. I was just trying to be, going to do my, chivalrous thing. And she says, no, what are you doing? Okay.
Well, I must tell you that when I sit in these chairs, and 4 or 5 times they've been standing at the door to see me walking down the street. I get here, it's all set up for me. And as soon as I walk in, before I have my backpack off or my shirt off, the chair's here waiting for me.
Right. Well, All right, so when you come to El Solar, what do you get? What do you do? You're sitting having a cup of coffee right now.
Yeah, usually I'll have coffee, and I won't. Towards the end of the day, if it's busy, I'll spend more because I don't want to take up a table. They got to pay for the table. But a couple of coffee, the best beach coffee, by the way, if you want to know. And I've had a lot of beach coffee, and then I'll have a few drinks later on. Sometimes something to eat. Caesar salads here good if they use my dressing.
We're going to get to that because Johnnie D is a magician in the kitchen, man. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
All right, so you can't see what we just did, but he's got a couple of samples of some of the things that he does. He's got these spicy marinated carrots, and then he has these hot pickles. So tell us, and you also told me that you just told me now you're doing dressing and stuff. So tell me about you got a little business going on? What's going on?
Well, one of the major things down here, and believe me, when I first came down here, when you come down on a holiday, whether it be a week or 10 days, it's party time. On the lakes, whatever, at that time.
Yeah.
Then I moved down here, and for the first 2 months, I was partying until I looked at my bank and go, whoa. So then I started doing the beach more, and all of a sudden, the dreaded word, and you'll hear it from anybody retired, no matter how good they are, boredom. Boredom set in like the plague.
Yeah. Yeah, that could get dangerous.
That's right. And I used to make the pickles at home and focaccia bread, mayonnaise dressing, pot stickers, wontons. I do it all. And I like to cook. And so I made it as a lark. When I used to come down before, I would bring samples down. The hotel would put them in their seat. I'd give them away, as much as I did here. They'd put them in their drinks. Everybody loved them. And some Canadians remembered me from before. So I took one to one bar, and they bought some. And it's just, believe me, I'm not making any money on them. But I like to think if I make 40 pesos a jar, I like to think it's 200 pesos. Because I'm not in a bar drinking.
Yeah.
So I'm doubling or tripling. You know, I'm saving the money.
Exactly. You're more than tripling it there, dude.
Yeah.
You're drinking. Wow. Okay, so is it difficult to get the kind of ingredients that you used at home to make those pickles here?
No, I can get everything I use. But there is a difference. There is a difference in the cucumbers here. They have more seeds, which tends to make them a bit soft. I don't use a hot water brine. Oh, I shouldn't have said that because that's a key. But it'll keep the pickles crispier. And having said that, in Canada, I didn't use it either. But I'll tell you what, there's a big difference. And one of the reasons I did it is it's like, oh, you make spicy pickles? When you make spicy pickles? And I said yes, because they can't find spicy pickles on the shelves as dill pickles. Cucumbers, and you can't find them in Canada, and I don't know if you find them stateside either.
No, I don't ever remember finding them at all either.
Yeah.
Well, they're really good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, they don't crunch like a kosher pickle, right? And that's because of the seeds.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. What else do you do? What else do you make?
My focaccia bread, and I should go back. All the pickles I make come out of a great cookbook.
Yeah.
Published in Canada. But I tweak things. I tweak them. My focaccia bread, I could give you the page. It's page 118 on Companies Coming Cookbook Breads. And I do not change anything in the recipe. But I alter what I do with what they want, which makes my which makes my focaccia bread different.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I make pot stickers.
Yeah. Really?
Yes. See? Wontons. I once, at 2 restaurants I've guest cooked for lunch. And at one place I did the wonton soup. It was all by donation. And the restaurant got it all. It was more of an appetizer anyways. I didn't charge them anything. They gave me, she gave me 300 pesos. And, of course, I drank while I was cooking.
Right, yeah.
Pot stickers got better. But when I did the wontons at another restaurant, it was by donation only. And the owner supplied the styrofoam cup, went out and bought a great big pot and a hot plate. And it was all said and done, it was 1,800 pesos. And I do it because it makes people happy. And I was drinking for free the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, oh, by the way, this is yours. I said, what's that? He said, here's the donations. I said, no, it wasn't for me. It's for the bar. Johnny, take it. You're a good customer. I like your product. He uses it.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah.
So how do people find out what you got going? What do? You send out like Facebook posts? What do you do?
No, and I'll tell you why. I don't know if I'm breaking law down here by doing this and selling it. And this is home. When I was back in Canada, somebody said, Johnny, when you going back to Puerto Vallarta? And I said, I'm going home.
Yeah, not back.
And that was 2 years ago. And I never would have said it before. This is home. So I don't want to get anybody mad at me. I follow all the regulations. I don't want to take a job away from a Mexican.
Right.
And they're great people.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you just got to find you on the beach somewhere?
Pardon?
They just got to come find you on the beach somewhere?
Well, no. There's. I don't know if you've seen it, but I actually got arrested for making pickles.
Oh no!
And it's a wanted poster.
I have not seen it.
Well, the wanted poster, country bar when I lived in Canada, new owners took over. They loved my product. They also wanted to arrest me on celebrating the new ownership. It's a Western bar, so they got me a prison outfit and the whole bit. And they sent out wanted posters, and everybody was, we got to go see Johnny get arrested. It was a jail and bail, right?
Uh-huh. Right.
And it went over pretty good. It went over very well, and I kept one or two posters, and I just reproduced them. And I have them in some bars. I have them all over the world, as I'm sure you do with your podcast, everybody
Right,
listening. Sure. It's quite flattering. Actually, two women from Houston. Are you Johnny D? And I said, yes. Would you autograph for a jar of pickles, please? It made my day, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah. I believe that. And they were lovely ladies from Houston, of course.
Yes, they were.
But we have lots of listeners in Texas, I have to say. So, if you want to say something... No, don't do it. Don't do it. It's a family show.
Yep.
Let's get into the bonus round. We'll talk a little bit more about your what you do in a little bit. But if I know that you've got some favorite places to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'm almost positive, right?
You hit it right on.
Okay, excellent. So let's start with breakfast. What's your favorite breakfast spot? There
are some mighty fine breakfasts around. Some great restaurants. If you're forcing me to pick just one, well, I've got to say the Winking Lizard.
Really?
Yes, it's a new bar.
Yeah.
Owned by a lady from Canada. And it's the best restaurant coffee that I've had. And I love my coffee.
Okay.
And 2 eggs easy over, and they know how to cook it. The Mexicans down here, as a rule, don't know how to cook eggs over easy or over hard. They just think just cook them. And no, it's excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. Yeah, I actually am heading over to the Winking Lizard sometime during my visit. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. So where are they located?
Do you know where the big church is with the Corona crown on top?
Sure.
They're on as you walk towards the main street. It's a little door. I think it's 224 or 244, something like that. Whatever that street is, they're upstairs, but they overlook the main drag where all the buses go, and it's actually in the same building, same block as the Bank of Nova Scotia is downtown.
Oh, okay. All right. Easy to find. And they're just new, too. They just opened up last year, didn't they?
Oh, 3 months ago, maybe 4. That's
okay.
It was. I think it was called the Omelette House before.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now it's the Winking Lizard.
Great people, great staff.
Ah, fantastic. What would be your favorite lunch spot?
My favorite lunch spot, and it's at least twice a week, I go for one dish only. It's Blake's. Blake's Sports Bar.
Okay. Now, I know that Blake's changed ownership.
Yes, to another Canadian.
Okay.
Megan, terrific lady.
Yeah.
And she's from Winnipeg. And of all things that I have, and it is the best I've ever had, I have the poutine, if you know what that is.
I do. I do know what that is.
It is the best I've ever had. Matter of fact, I was there 2 days ago and had poutine.
Okay.
Yep.
So, poutine over at Blake's.
Over at Blake's, and then El Solar if I want a salad or something. Usually when I do Blake's, I'm on a shopping spree. The bus goes by, I get off, have a cerveza. It gets to the point that I sit down. Poutine, John? No. Or Johnny? No. Maybe. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Yeah. Okay. Bring me poutine.
Well, it is the truth that when you go to a restaurant, you go there for usually a specific dish.
Exactly.
And you can memorize the menu. You look at it, you break it open, and you go, I'll have that same thing again.
You bet.
Know? Right?
You
It just
bet.
happens.
Exactly. Right on.
Yeah. But you do have to crack open the menu, even though you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, I have eaten here at El Solar. By the way, a great day out here. And the best pulpo that I've had is that Spanish octopus
Uh-huh.
is
Pulpo.
here. Pulpo?
Yeah. Pulpo. Yeah.
Pulpo. I'm telling you, it is absolutely the best.
Wow.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Okay. All right. Note taken. All right. Let's move on to dinner. What's your favorite dinner spot?
If I want prime rib, Blake's.
Okay.
If I want a great pizza, although I don't like thin crust, many times they've baked it on my focaccia bread dough.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Or some great lasagna, I go to Cafe Roma.
Oh, really?
Let me turn this around and ask you a question.
Yeah.
Don't you always go to places where you're treated the best?
Oh, always.
Well,
always.
I've just said it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. All right. Any other favorite dinners?
No.
Okay. How about bars? What's your favorite bar?
No. Oh, you can really get me in trouble here. I think I just alluded to some of them. Would you like to hear my route?
Yeah, let's go for it. Let's hear the route.
Okay. If I go to the bank, I go to the Lizard, have coffee. Then El Solar. Coffee, cerveza maybe. Might stop in at Captain Don's on the way to catch the bus. Cafe Roma. Kelly's Por Favor is also... I'm sorry, Kelly. I should have mentioned her turkey dinner also is fantastic for Thanksgiving. And they have more live music than anybody else throughout the whole year, even though it's a down. And Kelly's is great. I'll stop off at, depending on what bus I get. If I don't get the bus going to my place, I'll get off at Kelly's, have a beer in the afternoon, walk 2-3 blocks, go to Salty Caesar, Cape Pasta now and then. Well, that's where we ran into each other.
Yeah,
Cape Pasta
exactly.
last Saturday.
Right up near your house.
Yes. Yeah, and then I do go to other bars, but you said favorite, so by saying those, I covered my family show rear end.
Absolutely.
So I can tell you, I won't tell you, but I can tell you some of the bartenders, they're excellent. They're all excellent, but some of them go way overboard. And more often than not, you ask me how people find out about my pickles. I've been sitting at my office in this one bar. Just 2 weeks ago, somebody came in from Canada. No, they were from Minnesota. Hey, where's that Johnnie D guy? We want pickles. And they walked in and saw my poster. That's in their mind. They couldn't think of the name. And the bartender goes, well, he's sitting right there. So they just bought some.
Yeah, how about that?
And when I deliver, I usually, frankly, I get paid in advance, and then you'll get them the next day or when they're ready. I'll let you know. Because many times I've brought them, they don't show up. And I hate packing around 4 or 5 quarts of pickles.
No, you don't need to do that.
I digressed on the subject, the question you asked, but go ahead.
No, that's all right. We nailed the bars. How about your favorite coffee spot? You drink a lot of coffee.
Favorite coffee spot?
Yeah. If you're just going to go for coffee, it's going to be the Winking Lizard.
Yep.
All right. How about bakery? What's your favorite bakery?
Who's ever got sliced white bread? It's funny, I bake, and I don't bake my own bread. I bake focaccia bread. Isn't that? I don't know why. It doesn't interest me. It doesn't.
Okay, so you're not interested in bakeries?
No, bakery.
Right.
No,
a bakery.
No, not a bakery.
Well, all right. If that's the way you feel about it. If you were going to leave town for a day and you were going to come back, where would you go?
Los Animas, without a doubt.
And how would you get there?
I would take the bus, and most of the time when I go, I've taken out on how many newbies. Many have been here, but never to Los Animas. So I said, we'll take the bus, and let's take a cab. taxi. Let's take the bus. You'll see how interesting it is. You'll see the houses, and they enjoy it. The only killer is when you get off at Boca, you got to go walk down that hill. My bad leg, walking down and up a chore. Then we take a panga. We never take a water taxi. We'll pay a little bit more, but get private service. And the people there are fantastic. You know, the name escapes me, and they're going to I hope they forgive me. You walk off the pier, you turn left. It's the second one on the left. Red chairs. The food there, their seafood platter. Oh, that's a whole subject. Their seafood platter. They didn't have octopus, but the seafood platter. Voila.
Wow. So this is the second group of...
The second restaurant.
Restaurant with the red chairs.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well,
and
I'll look it up. We'll figure out which one it is.
And of all the people that I've taken there, many of them have said to me a week later, John, come on, we're going back to Los. They've gone it. I can name 4 couples, well, a group of probably total 8, 9 people in total that went back once or twice. Well, they're still here after I took them. It's quiet, no rocks. You can see the whales sometimes, as you can here, of course. Manta rays are the little ones anyways, 2 feet offshore, many times.
Cool. All right. Well, we love Las Animas, so... And how much does it cost for a panga to get to Las Animas?
Well, last year was running... You could get it for 100 pesos each. You got a wheeling deal.
Right.
Which is right up my alley. And last time I went, the best I could get was 160. They wanted 190. Now it's 160 each.
Okay.
And you give them a designated time, they'll come back and pick you up.
That's not bad, you guys. It's actually very, very, very reasonable.
I must tell your listeners, if you do it, you tell them to only come and pick you up. We didn't do that one time. We made 2 other stops, which to me, and it doesn't work well in Mexico because Mexican time, but I set my life to a schedule, to that thing that's on my wrist, a watch. And I didn't like stopping picking other people up.
Yeah.
So you make sure you tell them. Just you, nobody. And
Privado, not, what do they call it? Collectivo.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. If you were going to go away for 3 days, where would you go?
Someplace I haven't been. And it's so close. One of my sons was down here in March. Spent, a week there before he even told me I knew he was in town. San Pancho. I've never been to San Pancho.
Well, once again, that's an easy bus ride.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And it's a little bit of a walk into town from where the bus drops you off, but you take a cab there, and it's a beautiful beach town. Yeah, you'll love it. You will love it there. All right. Do you have a word of advice for a first-time visitor to Puerto Vallarta?
I see on Facebook, do I bring American or Canadian money? Get it changed wherever you are. And you don't have to bring your own money down. When I was staying in a hotel, I'd bring Canadian paper down, Canadian dollar bills, because they can exchange that. Many Canadians come down with our coin, like loonies and toonies, a $1 or $2 coin. Doesn't fly here.
Yeah.
And at the bar service, because they're running so much, I would tip pesos there. And if you're from Canada, if you fly WestJet, they allow you to bring down a humanitarian bag. And I've yet to come down without bringing a bag, so no check-in fees of clothes and stuff to give away. And you have no idea. No idea. I once came down with a bunch of sweaters, men's stuff this time. And you have to sign a note when you give it to the hotel staff so they don't think they pilfered it.
Yeah.
And I walk outside a little borracho in the morning. The bar's setting up already. They had my tea and honey because my throat was sore because I was at Alnally singing. And I said, Jose, what are you doing and wearing that sweater? He said, Senor Johnny, it's cold out. I said, what's the temperature? He says, 22 degrees. I said, among other words, hell, that's a hot day in Alberta in the summer. But having spent 2 winters here now, many nights during the winter, I cover up because I'm acclimatized.
Okay.
And also when you come down, folks, from anywhere, be prepared for a little bit of a shock. You're going to be driving through some areas. You're going to look, what's this? And then your bus is going to turn into a roadway up to paradise. You've been there. You would never comprehend that a place like that would be surrounded by some of the stuff you see. But you know what? That's their culture. Was I ever critical about it? No. The first time I came down, I was worried about thieves, murderers, and all this. And, I learned that from TV as a kid growing up. You will not, I haven't traveled much in the world, you will not meet finer people. I have never met more finer people than the Mexicans, without a doubt. And I'm proud to call a couple of them good friends of mine.
Excellent. Wow. Let's circle back to your kind of getting settled in around here.
Okay.
What do you miss most about Canada when you're here and just you're jonesing for something? What do you miss?
Are you going to laugh?
No.
Whenever somebody makes a mistake and goes on Puerto Vallarta Mule or Facebook, anybody need anything? I private message them. Hawkins Cheesies, black licorice, and Cheese Whiz.
Yeah.
No, that's edible. Anything else is okay. But what do I miss most? God, you're going to think I've been in the heat too long. I miss sometimes, just sometimes, briefly, minus 40 or 50 below weather. Because you can dress and keep warm.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And comfortable.
Yeah.
In the heat down here. Yeah, you're from California, you don't know that.
Clue what that feels like or looks like.
Today's not a hot day. Today's probably 31, 32. You could be naked out here and still not be comfortable.
Yeah. It is a little warm.
Yep.
For you.
But you know what? I'm acclimatized now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're not sweating, Johnnie D.
Not at all.
None at all. It's cool as a hot pickled cucumber, baby. I like his card, too. I'm going to have a picture of his card, the front and the back. It's hilarious, the back of your card, man.
I've been told to add something to it, but we'll talk about that later. And you already know what's on.
Yeah, I do know what's on it. Okay, so if you want to see Johnnie D's pickles, or you want to see Johnnie D's carrots, or his product, and if you want to see this crazy, hilarious card, I will have it on the website. You'll see it in the blog post at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. Don't miss it. It's pretty funny. I can't really talk about it on the show. Rated G.
Right.
So what would you tell somebody who is thinking about moving down here? What kind of advice would you give them?
If they've been here once or twice before on a holiday, they're all caught up in, it's beautiful here, the water's great. Whether either season, low or high season, be prepared when you come down and you're here to move. Make sure you have all your paperwork done in your own country. Check out your health care plans in Canada or whatever you have in the States. Don't overload yourself. When I moved here, I came with 5 suitcases.
Wow. Yeah.
I could have came with 3. And all you got at home, as George Carlin would say, is stuff. And we rent a locker to store stuff. Then we buy more stuff. That's all you have in Canada, or anybody has, is stuff. I brought down clothes, which a third I don't wear here. But I usually, when I go back to Canada, I need the cold weather clothes. And make sure you are documented. Make copies of everything you've got for paperwork. Now, so come down. You're going to. You want to come down here. You want to move in September. Come on down in July. See what the low season's like, and look for a place. If you come down in September thinking you're going to find a place for small coin, not going to happen. I was very fortunate in both places that I've got. My landlady's an excellent landlady. And I think she thinks it's better to have somebody steady, pay ahead of time. Once I paid 6 months in advance, than to have somebody who might be there for a month, 2 months, move on and go on. So we'll see come next year if there's a rent increase.
Yeah.
We'll see. And find a place to stay. Go to the bars if you drink, which, why come to Mexico if you don't? At the price of liquor here. And, you'll be amazed at the liquor prices, folks. And I'm telling you, if you like street food, it's great street food here. I myself, I I found out there's 1,000 ways to cook rice and beans in Mexico. I'm at 36, and I don't want to know anymore. But if you stay at an all-inclusive while you're looking, you don't have to eat there. You don't have to eat their food. You can go out and experience the street food. Many, many fine restaurants, and I've named just a few. There are many, many more. I just don't go to them. I've tried them, but don't go to them. You'll find that talk to gringos, Canadians, anybody that lives here, and they're all going to have different opinions, but I'm sure they're all going to settle in on one thing. You're not going to find a nicer people. And when it comes to accommodations, it ranges from bachelor studio apartments to you can rent a house fairly cheap. You find what you want. And maybe if you can get away with it, go month to month for a while until you find something. But if you have to sign a lease, it better be the one you want.
Right.
And very important.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to be stuck somewhere in a neighborhood that you really don't want to be in.
Exactly.
That's great advice.
If I may say something.
Sure.
I mentioned that 2-block walk that I had.
Yeah.
That's okay, fine. It's not as bad as I probably made it out to be. But if you're going to get in, you're not going to get in any trouble anywhere in Puerto Vallarta if you're not in some place where you shouldn't be. Because my city in Calgary, we've got our crime area. I'm sure you do in your city. I know Edmonton does. Vancouver has East Vancouver. You know, just be alert, but don't be so alert that you're looking over your shoulder all the time. Nothing's going to happen.
Very good. All right, so you're on a nice route there. You're almost like on a walk and wobble route, right? You know, you've got your different bars. Who's your favorite bartender in town?
Favorite bar?
Yeah. I know it's going to be hard. It's going to be one of these things
okay.
you don't want to piss anybody off.
I'm going
right?
to go back and the favorite bar because he's got the best server in town, bartender, and that's Jorge at Cafe Roma.
Ah, okay.
Absolutely the best. And it's a great bar. They have karaoke during the off season, Monday, Friday. During high season, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They have bands. And one place you must go, if it's just once, and I've only been there 3 times since I've been here, is the El Rio. When the El Rio has music, and my favorite band is the Gecko Band, then Tres Cuatros. If you're there, you got to try the ribs. And don't get the big order unless there's 4 of you, because that one big order will feed easily 4.
Really? Wow.
And you got to go there once.
I love that place. The surroundings are just absolutely stunning.
Yeah, see, they are.
Yeah, and of course, the music. When you combine that with the music, it's a wild place.
It echoes off the big rock wall on the other side of the river.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's the Mexican Bowl, much like the Hollywood Bowl.
It's the Hollywood Bowl of Mexico. That's what it is.
Yeah, hey, good. You can use that.
I just did. Is there anything else you want to add? Is there something that I've missed that you might want to touch on?
No. Do you remember the saying, whatever happened in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas?
Absolutely.
Well, let me tell you, whatever happened in Puerto Vallarta never happened.
Johnnie D, you are a great guest. I want to thank you so much for coming on. And you guys, you'll have to check out this guy. This guy is a real character. I'm going to have all of his information in the blog post. And thanks for taking your time. I really appreciate it.
Listen, it's been my honor. It's been a long time since I had a mic in front of my face.
Well, there you go. You're welcome.
All right.
Thanks again.
Hasta la Vega. And I should have said...
Okay. Now, that was an interesting conversation, right? I mean, I love this guy's routine. Wouldn't you like to have a routine like that? He's got his route. He's got it all planned out. And, I think I could definitely get into that routine. Don't you think that you might be able to do that too? Roll out of bed, shower, go to the beach, eat, have lunch, drink, have dinner, eat, drink. Don't stop me. Anyway, I love how these people figure out how to make ends meet. I have information about Johnny's hot, spicy pickles and his focaccia bread that he makes, and he makes marinated carrots and more. And I've got pictures of some of the stuff that he makes. They're all in the show notes. And you know where to find them. You can find them at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. Check out all those pictures. And if you have any questions about Johnny D, throw me an email. Let's talk. All right. That was a little fun, wasn't it? Nice to have a little bit of fun. That should be about all for this week. Let's stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant and excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, well, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com. That's JR's website. Reserve your tour through him right from his website. Remember, it's a value-for-value proposition, my friends. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you would do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you're going to use someone else, so do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget, he's got his maps, his DIY tours, his revitalized happy hour board, and more. And I have links to all of those in the show notes as well. And once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time and subscribe and give me a good review on iTunes or wherever you happen to listen to your podcasts. And that way we can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create. But if you haven't been to my website, you really need to go. Have a look there. I have links to the places that we talk about. I have interesting pictures and more right there in my blog posts and in the show notes for each episode of the show that I make. So check them out for sure if you haven't already. All right? All right. So thank you, Johnny D. Thanks for talking about how you make ends meet. Living in paradise. Living in the place that we love so much. Puerto Vallarta. Look for Johnny wherever you're in paradise. He has wanted posters all over the place. Yes, he does. Anyway, don't forget, by the way, to donate to Vallarta Food Bank. Go and make a monthly pledge over there at the Vallarta Food Bank, if you will, please, or the Patreon link that I have in the show notes. And remember that if you have Mexican friends, make sure you reach out to them, help them out, make sure they're doing okay. All right? All right, and thank you. Thanks for all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler, signing off with a wish for you to slow down, be kind, and live Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
Puerto Vallarta, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arroyo en el mar. Vallarta. Noche, llamo junto al mar, oh, samba de Puerto Vallarta.